Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello viewers. Now we are going to see the performance from the news anchor from MTSN 7 Jakarta. Okay, the first is Adlian Atala. Come on, Adlian.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon viewers. Welcome to MTSN 7 Jakarta News. With me ada Natala bringing you the latest news for today. Few countries celebrate Halloween with as much fearful and excitement as the US. Children and adults alike observe the occasion by dressing creative costumes, gorging on a candy, decorating home and front a yard with spooky skeleton and Jack-o'-lantern. No Halloween is complete without spending many hours transforming pumpkin into a spooky Jack-o'-lantern. This fun custom was started by the Irish who used turnip or beets for their ghoulish creation. After coming to America, the immigrants switched to orange gourd, which are both plentiful and easier to craft. And that's all for today. We check this out mtsm7.com for the latest update. I'm Adlan Talah. Thank you for watching and having a great day.
Okay, good. Yeah. Okay, the next is Aisyah Estu Gama. Aisyah. One, two. Okay, next, Alexa Yumna.
Assalamualaikum. Good morning, viewers. Welcome to MTSN 7 News. With me, Alexa Yumna, bringing you the latest news for today. Moderators target residential areas and a number of school buildings in Lebak, Banten, and Tuesday afternoon. The students had to take off their footwear to go school. It's been raining heavily for 3 days. Activities of residential and students are disrupted. One of them is at State High School 1 Rangkasa Bitung, Lebak, Banten. Flooding as high as 13 to 15 centimeters makes students have to walk in puddles to school barefoot. Although the students are still eager to learn. Until last night, the rain still poured on Rangkas Bitung area, Lebak, Banten. Residents expect the waterway system to be repaired soon. That's all the news for today. Check this out mtsn7.com for the latest update. I am Alexandra. Thank you for watching and have a great day.
Okay, good. Next. Alika Kasna.
Maaf, Miss, saya nggak bisa ngebuka kameranya, Miss.
Oh, ya. Oke, next ya. Next dulu ya. Amalia Veika. Amalia Veika. Alika nanti dulu ya. Nanti bisa bikin rekaman.
Ya, Miss.
Ya. Amalia Veika.
Amalia syuting kayaknya, Miss.
Oh. Oke. Lanjut. Syuting apa?
Nggak tahu, tadi lagi di sekolah kayaknya.
Oh, Bu Susi, yang tugas Bu Susi ya. Ya, oke, next. Amelia.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, I'm Amelia Febriani Rahman. You are with me in Jakarta Globe News. We bring several information that happening during this week, and here are the top highlights. Here's the details. Indonesia reports lowest daily COVID-19 death toll since May 2020. The COVID-19 situation in Indonesia has improved significantly with steady decline in the new cases and deaths over the last few weeks. The country recorded 19 COVID deaths on Sunday, the lowest single-day death toll since May 25th, 2020, to take the overall fatality toll to 142,952, government's figures show. The daily death toll has been below the 100 mark since the start of the month, with an average of 60 death months to date. A further 747 new cases have been recorded in the past 24 hours, bringing the total number of cases to 4.23 million. The total number of active cases currently stands at 18,388. Southeast Asia's biggest country has largely eased COVID-19 restrictions by allowing schools, malls, cinemas, public markets, and restaurants to reopen with a 50% capacity limit. Labor-intensive factories can operate at full capacity as long as they implement multiple shifts at works. More than 107 million citizens have had one dose of COVID-19 vaccine since the mass inoculation began in January, representing 52% of the target population. Of that figure, 62.8 million are fully vaccinated. That's all for the news for today. For more information, you can check our website at www.jakartaglobe.id. Thanks for watching and have a great day. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Okay, good. Next. Atar.
Yes, miss.
Come on.
Assalamualaikum, good afternoon viewers. Welcome to MTSN 7 News. With
Mana
me,
mukanya?
Atta, bringing you the latest news.
Dulu ulang. Mukanya mana mukanya? On kamera. Terus turunin dikit. Ah, gitu ganteng. Ya, gitu. Ya, sip. Silakan lanjut. Next. Silakan. Ya.
Assalamualaikum, good afternoon. Good afternoon viewers. Welcome to MTSN 7 News. With me, Atta, bringing you the last news for today. The first news that's in the United States that it is difficult for students to continue learning. Massive school closure one-way run in the United States without careful planning. As a result, many students experience the unavailability of learning facilities such as laptops. Here is the complete news. That's all the news for today. Check this out at mtsn7.com. For the last update, I'm Atta. Thank you for watching and have a great day.
Okay. Yeah, but Cesar.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon. I am Zidan. You are with me in Kompas News, and I will be accompanying you to minute.
Repeat, please. Your face. Hi, please. Good. Hi.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon. I am Zidan. You are with me in Kompas News, and I will be accompanying you to 2-minute forward. We bring several information that happening during this week. And here are the top highlights. Here is details. Known for their short tail and unique appearance, American bobtails are a rather unusual breed in the United States. Despite their appearance, American bobtails are often referred to as the golden retriever of the catwalk due to their sweet, affectionate, and submissive personality. What's more, American bobtails are a lot of fun. Many like to play catch and throw with their owners and are easy to train when walking on the leash. American bobtails are ideal pets of families, with teens or other pets in the home. They are friendly and adaptable. Personality makes them suitable for all kinds of environments. American bobtails are often used as therapy cats, thanks to their sweet personality and friendliness to strangers or as companions to long-distance truck drivers because they travel well. American bobtails are strong and muscular cats. He also has no genetic predisposition to any particular health condition. That's all the news for today. For more information, you can check our website at kompas.com. Thank you. Have a great day. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Okay, good. Next. Khalifa. Pasti mukanya cakep.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello and good afternoon. Welcome back with me, Khalifah dan Sardin. The truth is our priority. We give justice to your curiosity. Latest news spot only here on MTSN 7 Jakarta News, giving you the latest and most credible news for today. And here is the topic line. Tangerang flood water froze. Tangerang Disaster Mitigation Tagana teams evacuated hundreds of residents from their homes in the Ciledug in the housing complex. In Ciledug District, Tangerang, after flood waters inundated the area on Wednesday. Water of up to 50 centimeters deep began to inundate the housing complex on Tuesday. By Wednesday morning, the water reached up to 2 meters in some parts of the complex. Many vehicles belonging to residents were also trapped in the flood because the owner did not have a chance to move them to a higher place. Temporary shelter inside government office and mosque were set up to house the evacuated, but some residents refused to leave their home, citing security concerns. They also say that it will be tiresome to walk between their homes and the shelter to check on their houses. I prefer to stay at home because it's unsafe to leave home, local man Dedi Safei told the Jakarta Post on Wednesday. That was the news of truth and accuracy from the News Republic team. We're hoping everyone is in a good condition and also hoping you have a great day ahead. Stay healthy and stay safe. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Okay, good. Next. Daryl.
Ya. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good evening. Terulang-ulang. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Take a break. Take a break. Okay.
Apa, Miss?
Nah, tarik nafas. Ya, kamu kelihatan ngos-ngosan banget. Tenang, tenang. Ya, oke. Nah, udah. Ya, bismillah.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good evening. I'm Daryl and you are with me in DBS News. An expert panel on Tuesday voted overwhelmingly to recommend the US FDA authorize the Pfizer Inc. and BioNTech SE COVID vaccine for children aged 5 to 11, saying the benefit inclusion overweighed the risk. An authorization for that age group will be an important regulatory step forward, reaching about 28 million children for inoculation, most of them back in school for in-person learning. The vaccine could available to the younger age group as soon as next week. The FDA is not obligated to follow the advice of its outside experts, but usually does. If the FDA authorized the shots for this age group, an advisory panel of the U.S. Centers of Disease Control and Prevention will meet in the next week to make the recommendation of the administration of the vaccine. The CDC director will make the final call. The company have said their vaccine showed 90.7% efficacy against the coronavirus in a clinical trial of children aged 5 to 11. while the children become seriously ill or dying from COVID-19 is relatively rare compared this to adult compared with adult. Some develop complication and infection is in unvaccinated kids have risen due to their easily transmitted Delta variant of coronavirus. That's all the news for today. Check out the mtsn7.com for the latest update. I'm Daryl. Thanks for watching and have a great day.
Okay. Good. Yeah. Next. Dinar.
Assalamualaikum. Good morning, viewers. Welcome to MTSN 7 Jakarta News. With me, Dinar Maharani, bringing you the latest news for today. Coronavirus is a virus that attacks the respiratory system. This virus can cause severe lung infection and even death. This virus can attack anyone, such as the elderly, adults, children, and in fact, including pregnant women and breastfeeding mothers. Coronavirus was first discovered in the city of Wuhan, China, at the end of December 2019. This virus is also called COVID-19. This virus spread locally and has spread to almost all countries, including Indonesia. This has made several countries implement policy to impose lockdowns. In Indonesia itself, the government implements a policy PPKM. Symptoms of this virus are flu, fever, runny nose, dry throat, sore throat, and headache. The COVID-19 pandemic not only has an impact on public health, but also affects economic conditions and education, one of which is the decline in economic conditions, namely. That's all news for today. Check this out at MTSN7 for the latest update. I am Dinar Maharani. Thank you for watching and have a great day.
Okay, good. Yes. Okay, next. Diva.
Yes, miss.
Your face, please. Show your face. Hi. Yeah. Okay.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon, viewers. Welcome to MTSN 7 News. With me, Diva Mulia Ulia Ramadhani, bringing you the latest news for today. The government will make catfish as one of the main commodities that will be maximized for Indonesia food self-sufficiency. Coordinator of Minister for Maritime Indroyo Susilo said that the election of catfish as the mainstay because catfish is a fish that constant loss of nutrition with cheap price. Even though catfish is the cheapest, it has a lot of animal protein, he said after a meeting at his office, Jakarta, Thursday, January 29, 2015. Moreover, Indroyono said that catfish has been well known even to European consumers. We can sell to Europe, he added. They said catfish he also will make other fish series commodities such as shrimp, grouper, red snapper, tilapia, and catfish as the main commodity. He also said that government has targeted Indonesia aquaculture production should reach 31.3 million tons. To achieve this target, the government must meet a few things that could support aquaculture. For the cultivation nets, 7 things that must be met, namely location, set, feed, mediation, technology, and market. That's all the news for today. Check this out abimuda.com for the last update. I'm Diva Mulia Uliar Madani. Thank you for watching and have a great day.
Okay, good. Yes. Next. The other, please don't leave, yeah. See your friends performance. We appreciate each other. Okay, Fakia.
Assalamualaikum, good afternoon, viewers. Welcome to MTS and 7 News. It's me, Fakia Darul Solihah, bringing you the latest news for today. Planning a village from dirty village to be a healthy village. Many works are done to commemorate the Independence Day of Indonesia. One of them is to turn the village into beautiful with colorful paint. As the Sukakarta village, President and Cianjur, West Java. They become pilot village from the farmer's room to healthy village. Unlike other villages, they celebrate the race on Indonesia Independence Day. Village prefer to work together to transform their village into a rainbow village or a healthy village. This idea was original, conceived by a bicycle alongside the ring of the village apparatus. Rainbow Village will be a pilot area that has since will become healthier. Later, this village facilitated health service and free ambulance for 24 houses. Now, 90 houses have been changed to be more beautiful and ready to welcome the 7th anniversary of it, hoping this village can also attract tourists to come and become a tourist village. That's all the news for today. Check this out at mtsn7.com for the latest update. I'm Fakia Darul Solihah. Thank you for watching. Stay healthy and have a great day.
Okay. Good. Yes, next Alika first. Yeah, sorry, the other after this. Yeah, Alika, come on.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon, viewers. Welcome to MTSN 7 News. With me, Alika Kasna Aprilia, bringing you the latest news for today. A fuel truck lost control while speeding on the Mangun Raharjo Road, Surabaya, and suffered a serious accident. The truck crushed a motorcycle that came from the opposite direction and burned. The incident started when the truck was traveling from east to west at high speed. Not paying attention to the flow of traffic, the truck went too far to the right until it passed the road markings, and at the same time from the west, a motorbike appeared and was immediately hit by a truck. When hit, the truck driver tried to avoid, but instead made the truck roll over. A pedestrian who saw the incident said that the fuel truck was seen speeding, then all of a sudden swerved and hit a motorcyclist who came from the front on 1 December 2014. This incident made the motorcycle rider was killed instantly after being hit by the truck, while the truck driver suffered serious injuries to the chest and head. 30 minutes after the incident, the police came to investigate the accident. After doing investigation, they found the cause that the driver was sleepy when driving the truck. In addition to the brake that didn't work, so he couldn't control his truck and hit the victim. The current truck driver had been taken to the Aibo hospital to be treated. That's all news for today. For more information, you can check our website. Thanks for watching and have a great day. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Okay, good. Yes. Next, we continue to Fatir. Come on, Fatir.
Miss,
Your
saya
face.
itu udah.
Yes. Okay, ready?
Saya sama Miss kayak tadi.
Hah? Salah gimana?
Teksnya sama teksnya.
Gak apa-apa, udah. Lanjut. Ini cara bacanya.
Assalamualaikum. Good afternoon, viewers. Welcome to MTS 7 News with Fatir Rajendra Satrio, bringing you the latest news for today. A full truck lost control while speeding on the Mangun Raharjo 2 road, Surabaya, and suffered serious accident. The truck crashes a motorcycle that came from the opposite direction and burned. A pedestrian who saw the incident said that the fuel truck was seen speeding, then all of a sudden swerved and hit a motorcyclist who came from the front of 1 December 2014. This incident made the motorcycle rider was killed instantly after being hit by the truck, while the truck driver suffered serious injuries to the chest and head. 30 minutes after the incident, the police came to investigate the accident. After doing investigation, they found the cause that the driver was sleepy when driving the truck in addition to the brake that didn't work. So he couldn't control his truck and hit the victim. The current truck driver had been taken to Doa Ibu Hospital to be treated. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Okay, good. Next. After Fatir, Filza. Filza.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon. I am Filza. You are with me in New York Times News, and I will be accompanying you to 2 minutes forward. We bring several information that happening during this week, and here are the top highlights. Here is the details. At McKinsey, we spread for our work with planet's biggest polluters. A letter signed by more than 1,100 employees has called for change at the consulting firm, which has advised at least 43 of the 100 most environmentally damaging companies. As world leaders prepare to meet in Glasgow next week to address the devastating impact of world fires, floods, and extreme weather caused by rising greenhouse gas, a revolt has been brewing inside the world's most influential consulting firm, McKinsey & Company, over its support of the planet's biggest polluters. More than 1,100 employees and counting have signed an open letter to the firm's top partners, urging them to disclose how much carbon their clients spew into the atmosphere. The climate crisis is the defining issue of our generation, wrote the letter authors, nearly a dozen McKinsey consultants. Our positive impact in other realms will mean nothing if we do not act as our clients alter the earth irrevocably. Several of the authors have resigned since the letter, which has never before been reported, came out last spring, with one sending out a widely shared email that cited McKinsey continue work with fossil fuel companies as a primary reason for his departure. Thanks. That's all the news for today. For more information, you can check our website at www.newyorktimes.com. Thanks for watching and have a great day. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Okay, good. Next. Mazda. I will evaluate the last, yeah. So please don't leave first. Okay, Mazda.
Assalamualaikum. Hello, good afternoon, viewers. Welcome to MTS N7 News with me, Mazda Alfiazza, bringing you the latest news for today. This time, I will provide with your forecast info. It's been raining a lot, late light something even with wind and lightning. Very scary, so we have to be more careful. The impact of heavy rain is flooding, so we have to be more careful, especially in areas that are prone to flooding. That's all the news today. Check this out mtsn7.com for the latest updates. I'm Mazda. Thank you for watching and have a great day. I have a great day. See you.
Okay, short ya. Okay, next, Hasbi. Hasbi.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, viewers. Welcome to MTS and 7 News with me, Muhammad Hasbi, bringing you the latest news for 6 fishermen arrested in Malaysia. Malaysian powers have confined 6 anglers from West Brande, Langkat, North Sumatra, and Langkawi Island. 6 customary anglers from Langkat were captured and kept in Langkawi, Malaysia. Executive of the North Sumatra Office of the Indonesian Traditional Fishermen Association, Tajruddin Hasibuan, said as cited by Antara. The captures were made as the anglers were returning home from a 3-day trip. Tajruddin said that Malaysian Oceanic Police captured the anglers on May 9th. The anglers were recognized as Abdul Rais, Daiman, Dailani, Muhammad Zais, Radit, and Harry. Hasibuan encouraged the administration to help discharge the 6 anglers. That's all news for today. Check this out at mtsn7.com for the latest update. I'm Muhammad Hasbi. Thank you for watching and have a great day.
Okay, good. Next, his skill. His skill.
Yes, Miss. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, viewers. Welcome to MTS and 7 News. With me, Muhammad Rizky Sevilla Pereira, bringing you the latest news for today. Floodwaters soaked the residential areas and a number of school buildings in Lebak, Banten in today's afternoon. The students had to take off their footwear to go to school. It's been raining heavily for 3 days. Activities of residents and students are disrupted. One of them is at State High School at Rangkas Bitung, Lebak, Banten. Flooding as high as 30 to 50 centimeters makes students have to walk in puddles to school barefoot. Also, the students are still eager to learn. Until last night, the rain still poured on Rangkas Bitung area. Lebak, Banten. Residents expect the waterway system to be repaired soon. That's all the news for today. Check this out at mtsn7.com for the latest update. I'm Muhammad Rizky Sevilla Pereira. Thank you for watching and have a great day. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Okay, good. Next, Zafif.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon. I'm Zafif. You are with me in Kompas News, and I will be accompanying you to 2 minutes forward. We bring several information that happening during this week, and here are the top highlights. Here is the detail. Update on the cases of COVID-19, October 27, 2021. Confirmed cases increased by 719. Recovery patients increased by 944 cases. Total death increased by 29 cases. Active cases decreased by 254 cases. Suspect 7,584 cases. That's all the news for today. For more information, you can check our website at kompas.com. Thanks for watching and have a great day. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Okay, good. Next, Naufal Fauzan.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello viewers, welcome to MTSN 7 News with me Naufal Fauzan. Ciliwung River overflows to villages are submerged by flood as high as 3 meters. There was a flash flood around the Ciliwung River. The flood was thought to be due to heavy rain from 19 until the morning at 9 o'clock. Two villages were submerged and many families fled to the neighboring village. Around 137 heads of family lost their home due to flooding. The government immediately provided assistance in the form of shelter for clean water, food, drinks, medicine, and clothing. There was also a flood in this village about 2 years ago, but this year's flood was bigger than last year's. One of the causes is also suspected to be due to the habit of surrounding community who litters in the Ciliwung River so that the floods occur when the rainy season comes. That's the news for today.
Okay. Good. Next. Naura.
Assalamualaikum. Good afternoon, viewers. Welcome to MTS and 7 News. With me, Nora Kalista Padantia, bringing you the latest news for today. Let's begin the news. The Jakarta Post, Sinabung Not National Disaster, BNPB says, the National Disaster Mitigation Agency BNPB emphasizes that the Mount Sinabung eruption in the North Sumatra was a regional and national disaster. BNPB chief spokesman Sutopo Purwonugroho said the Karo and North Sumatra regional administrations were still running normally and nothing had paralyzed the regional administrations, despite almost 95% of the assistance being for the central government. This is not a national disaster, he told Antara News Agency. Even in the post-disaster phase, the central government will still be involved in rehabilitation and reconstruction. Sutopo said its problem with the Mount Sinabung eruption is the absence of a regional disaster mitigation agency, BPD in Karo Regency. That's all the news for today. Check this out at mtsn7.com for the latest update. I am Nora Kalista Valentia. Thank you for watching and have a great day.
Okay, good. Next. Naila Salsabila. Naila Salsabila. 1, 2, 3. Oh yeah. Okay, Raihan Febriadi.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Rehan Febriadi. I live in Jakarta MTS 7. Dois plastic surgery or plastic almost all people think that plastic surgery uses plastic to use surgery. Have you ever thought about why it is called plastic surgery and whether the surgery uses plastic mostly? It is that many people in this world may do it for. Many reasons such as not being kitty or decide white pair. Apa preference plastic surgery is an act of medical repair this. I did not mean that plastic surgery is not made of plastic. Plastic surgery comes from two words. Wing means plastic surgery, wing means change hype. That's as all your own meeting today. I am grateful for you.
Finish? Okay, give applause. Now, next. Naila Sabrina. Naila Sabrina. Naila Salsabila. Naila Salsabila. Yeah, okay. Please.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hey everyone, welcome to MTS News with me, Naila, bringing you the latest news for today. The Prime Day will actually include years, as its Prime Day will return for the fifth time next month, and this year the holiday will run for 5 days. Mention and action in 5 days. This year will start at midnight on Monday, July 30th, and run for 48 hours. The company was that the event will include.
Naila, kok kamu jauh banget? Coba lebih dekat lagi, suaranya nggak jelas. Make it close. Nah. Ya, silakan.
Amazon announced that Prime Day this year will start at midnight on Monday, July 15, and run for 48 hours. The company boasts that the event will include more than 1 million deals around the world, such as step discount on Alexa-enabled device. In 2018, Prime Day lasted 36 hours, which was longer than in prior years. Amazon tested out its inaugural Prime Day in July of 2015 to celebrate its 20 years anniversary. It decided the day to replicate the Black Friday for Amazon Day Heart. That's all the news for today. For more information, you can check our website www.zbs.com. Thanks for watching and have a great day. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Okay, good. Next. Raihan Eka. Raihan Eka.
Yes, okay. Yes. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, viewers. Welcome to MTS N7 News. With me, Raihan Eka Saputra, bringing you the latest news for today. UK Parliament pays less respect to politicians stabbed to death. London British MPs paid tribute to their colleague, David Amess, who was stabbed to death while meeting his constituents. Britain's counter-terrorism police are still investigating whether the suspect arrested, as reported by AFP Monday, 10 October 2021. Amess, 69, who is a veteran lawmaker from the Conservative Party, was stabbed to death on Friday, 15 October, local time, while meeting his constituents at church in the Leigh-on-Sea region east of London. This is the second such attack on British MPs in the last 5 years. Local police have arrested a 25-year-old man under the Terrorism Act, which allows police to extend this detention for interrogation until Friday, 10 October 2022. The suspect has not been charged with any charge so far. The British Parliament, which is returning to its meeting after a 3-week recess, will hold a special session on Monday, 18 October afternoon local time when MPs from across the political spectrum will pay their respect to the late MS. MS, who is already a veteran, has been praised for politeness and the tireless work of her constituent. That's all the news for today. Check this out at detiknews.com for the latest update. I'm Raihan Eka Saputra. Thank you for watching and have a great day.
Okay, good. Next, Salwa.
Yes, Miss. Wait. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, viewers. Welcome to MTS and 7 News. With me, Somina Zoza, bringing you the latest news for today. COVID-19. COVID-19 also makes people who get an infection experience several symptoms. The common symptoms are a fever, dry cold, and tiredness. Some also experience asthma, sore throat, diarrhea, conjunctivitis, and loss of taste or smell. Meanwhile, the shortest symptoms are shortness of breath, chest pain, and loss of the speech. However, there are many who do not experience symptoms. It takes about 5 until 6 days to the symptoms to show. However, the intensive period takes 14 days. People who have a mild to moderate illness usually can recover with the hospital. The WHO gives the way to prevent infection to washing hands regularly with soap and water, avoiding touching face, staying at home, refraining from smoking, and practicing physical distancing. That's all the news for today. For more information, you can check our website www.compass.com. Thanks for watching and have a great day. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Okay, next, Safia.
Hi, Miss. Assalamualaikum. Good afternoon, viewers. Welcome to MTS 7 News. With me, Safia, bringing you the latest news for today. Retail Gaston in the...
Sorry, Safia, could you repeat again? Your face, I can see your face. Yeah. Hi, please. Yes, good. Okay, continue. From beginning.
Assalamualaikum. Good afternoon, viewers. Welcome to MTS 7 News. With me, Safia, bringing you the latest news for today. A retail gas stand in the village of SA, Barekbek district, Ciamis, on fire on Tuesday at night. As a result of this incident, Murtini sustained burn on her extremity. The fire also burned the mother of Minerva and the stall owner Minerva, and now her condition was ruined. The estimate losses are around Rp 75 million. It was thought that the flame from the candle grabbed the gasoline. Chief UPTD Damkar Ciamis, Wawan said he received a report of a fire at 8 a.m. and arrived at the site at 8:50 a.m. According to the chronology, the stall owner was pouring gasoline from the canister into old bottle of sale. Because of the dark condition of the chaos, the victim then light the candle for light. When pouring gasoline, it was thought that the flame from a candle grabbed the gasoline until there was fire and injured the victim. The victim was screaming for the people's help. After that, the resident evacuated the victim and took them to the hospital, he says. The fire was extinguished by local using a makeshift device. Soon, the firemen arrived and put out the fire. We have one burn victim, but she was taken to the hospital for treatment. For that, I encourage caution when pouring gasoline. Don't light a fire because gasoline is so flammable. This is a lesson to not let this happen, he said. That's all news for today. For more information, check this out at mtsn.com. I'm Safia and thank you for watching. Have a good day.
Okay, good. Next, Shafira.
Good afternoon, viewers. I'm Shafira Putra Rivianti. Today on Virtual Kenya case, XP's quarantine goes to investigation. The case of Rachel Fenya XP's from quarantine continued to be spread by investigation from Polda Metro Jaya, Head of Public Relations, Paul Yunus, said investigation found a suspect. There is a criminal element in the case. Rachel Fenya is suspect of violating the law on health, quarantine, and infectious disease outbreak. So there has been an investigation into the subversion of the quarantine law and disease outbreak, threat of 1 year in prison, said Yusri at Polda Metro Jaya. Therefore, the Rachel Fenya in the near future will be checked again at the Polda Metro Jaya. It is that it's not known for certain whether Rachel Fenya has been named a suspect or not. Rachel Fenya lover Salim Naudre and his manager Maulidia Hayrunia, who is suspect of having escaped quarantine at the Pademangan Athlete God House, were also someone again. Previously, Rachel Fenya answered the call on Monday, 18 Oktober 2021. He did not come alone, but with Salim the lover and Maulidia the manager. Rachel Fenya did say many words when she arrived or after the examination. He just admitted he was wrong and apologized. So far, 3 have been 2 individuals with the initial FS and EG. Both have been detectives. They are also being checked by the police from their respective unit. That's all the news for today. From information you can check our website www.detiknews.com. Thank you for watching and have a great day. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Good. Next, Shakira. Shakira. Okay. Next, Shifa. Shifa. Hello, Shifa. Okay, no. Tiara.
Assalamualaikum. Good afternoon.
Your face. Hi. Yes.
Assalamualaikum. Good afternoon, viewers. Welcome to MTS 7 News. With me, Tiara Putri Ramadhani, bringing you the latest news for today. Tornado satellite houses in Surabaya. Torrential downpours joined by solid winds devastated many homes. Individuals who are living in a town in Surabaya, East Java, did not accept that their homes were wrecked as a result of a tornado. When the courts occurred, the individual overburdened by escaping. The wind was so solid, we all used up the house on the grounds that the rooftop entire scattered, said a villager. The occupants whose houses broken need to clear to a neighbor's home whose house made due from tornado. The episode came about misfortune up to several million dollars. In the interim, a tornado thumbed down electrical cables and various trees in Surabaya, Madura. Subsequently, power and phone were damaged. Solid winds likewise demolished and sanctuary there. The solid winds thumbed down the wall outside the blue rooftop and sanctuary, said one of occupants. As per BMKG Region 1 Surabaya, Madura, the solid winds that happened in Madura called windy wind which has set speed 34 bunches every hour. That's all the news for today. Check this out at mts7.com for the latest update. I'm Tiara Putri Ramadhani. Thank you for watching and have a great day.
Okay. Next. Wahid. Wahid. No, Wahid. Safiera.
Yes, Miss. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon, viewers. Welcome to MTSN 7 News. With me, Jafira Adara Sinjaryadi, bringing you the latest news for today. Landslide and whirlwind and Gulf Bogor. Landslide and whirlwind again hit the city of Bogor, West Java. Natural disaster occurred after heavy rain accompanied by strong winds on Tuesday afternoon yesterday. Regional Disaster Management Agency (BPBD) Bogor City reported the first event of the whirlwind occurred in RT 4 RW 3 Sukaresmi Village, Tanah Saril Sub-District. The two houses belonging to Imah and Adu were damaged on the roof due to heavy winds. Not only that, a number of trees near the houses of citizens were collapsed to hit some whose residents of the region. Large bamboo trees stumbled to their roots and the hard tree uprooted the people's root. There were no casualties, but their residents' houses were damaged by the wind and hit by fallen trees, said Bogor City Head of BPBD Ganjar Gunawan Wednesday. Landslide also occurred in Jalan Pahlawan Pelajar Cimanggu, Tanah Subdistrict Sarel. Landslide caused the sidewalk to collapse to a depth of 1 meter. Not only the sidewalk, the fence owned by Bali Tro was damaged, eroded. Landslide, the length of the sidewalk pavement was estimated to be more than 10 meters. The incident occurred when the rain flashed the area of Bogor. Previously, 33rd cases of natural disaster also occurred in the city of Bogor on Monday, 27 February. The event was dominated by landslide, floods, and fires. 3 people died or was buried by landslides, and 2 others were dragged by flood from Cipacancilan River. That's all the news for today. For more information, you can check our website at www.gbs.com. Thanks for watching and have a great day. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Okay, Jaskia, next.
Yes. Assalamualaikum. Good afternoon, viewers. Welcome to MTSN 7 News. With me, Jaskia Mirza, bringing you the latest news for today. Torrential rains accompanied by strong winds destroyed dozens of homes. People who are living in the village in Jember, East Java, did not believe that their homes were destroyed because of tornado. A show in Indo TV Afternoon News Thursday, 23/2040. When the incident took place, the people overloaded by flame. The wind was so strong, we all ran out of the house because of the roof tiles scattered, said the villager. The resident whose house broken had to evacuate to a neighbor's who survived for tornado. The incident resulted loss up to tens of millions of dollars. Meanwhile, a tornado knocked down tower lines and a number of trees in Denpasar Street, Gilimanuk, Bali. As a result, electricity and telephone were disconnected. Strong winds also destroyed a temple there. The strong winds knocked down the fences outside the flame-proof temple, said one of residents. According to BMKG Region 3 Denpasar, Bali, the strong winds that occurred in Bali caused gusty wind which has speed 34 km per hour. That's all the news for today. Check this out at mtsn7.com for the latest update. I'm Jaskia. Thank you for watching and have a great day.
Okay, Zulfa.
Good afternoon, happy Thursday, and thank you to join us
host today. I'm Zulfabian Shakur here with 7 Fs. I am commemoration of your Plate Day of ceremony to commemoration your Plate Day will be held on Thursday, October 28, 2021, launching from the Ministry of Youth and Sport. The 93 Your Plate Day in 2021 will be held nationally at the central, provincial, regional, city level, district, and representative of the Republic of Indonesia abroad. The implementation of the commemoration of the Your Plate Day is guided